guys, I'm just making some bread. I just pop on in like that. Alright, whatever. If you guys want to learn how to make the bread that my aunt makes every year for Thanksgiving, it is the best bread in the world. We eat it every year, and she taught me how to make it and when I was like 7 or 8, and I've been making it ever since. So what you're going to need is some salt. I've already poured it in. 2 tablespoons of salt. What you're going to need is some rosemary, some thyme, some basil, some bread flour unbleached, 6 cups of water, and last but certainly not yeast. So, you're going to want to get a big bowl like this and pour your 6 cups of water in. 6 cups of warm water. Pour it right on in. We don't need this anymore. So, then what you're going to want to do is take your yeast. You're going to want to just kind of sprinkle it on. There's not really an exact measurement. Just kind of cover the bowl. Here, I'll show you guys. Like that. There's a thin layer of yeast over the water. You're just going to want to let that just soak in for a little bit until it gets, until you can see that it's ready. So I'm going to start by opening the flour. Brand new, by the way. The yeast doesn't take that long to kind of get settled in. See, it's already getting ready right now. So I'll just kind of stir that in. And then that's one step down. So then you're going to add your salt, 2 tablespoons, stir that in. And then this is where it gets pretty, not tricky, but like this is where you kind of want to measure it out yourself, see whenever you're ready. You're going to want to take your flour and just put that in there. Not a lot. You're going to do this a lot, so put it in like that and just stir until eventually it will be a good consistency. And I'll show you guys whenever I get to that point, because this is going to take a little bit of time. So you get it, time. Alright, so whenever you get to a good point where it's kind of a little bit in the middle of like where you want it, you're going to want to take your thyme, brand new too, so I'm going to unpackage it, I didn't realize that. So, you're going to want to take it, and I get about a good handful, just like that. This is going to be for your basil and rosemary too. You're going to want to do this. Just get it in your hand and just kind of crunch it up. And then just drop it on in. You're also going to do that for your rosemary. Same thing, just enough in your hand. Enough in your hand. Crunch that up. Drop it on in. And then you're going to want to take your basil. Again. Get a handful. That's a little bit too much. So, just a handful. Crunch that up. Drop it on in. And then you're back to stirring. And stir that in. There we go. Stir it on in. And you just want to keep adding more flour until you get that good consistency that looks like bread dough. Alright? And I'll be back to you guys whenever I'm done with that. So, I put flour in here, and a note, you can put don't put a lot of flour in each time, because you can always add more flour. So once I get to like this consistency right here where it's sticky, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a towel and just lay it over top of the bowl, and I'm going to let the dough rise And once it gets to about double the size, you're going to want to punch it down. And then you're going to want to repeat that again. So again, I'll be back whenever the dough has risen. And yeah, see that. Alright, so I've let the dough rise and I've pounded it down a couple times. Here it is now. As you can see, it's risen a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle some flour onto the table. And this is why I said not to put so much flour in the bread at first, because you can always add more. And this is where you're going to be adding more flour. So we're just going to spread this out. I'm going to roll up the sleeves just so I don't get dirty. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is bring the dough out and just let that right onto the table, onto the flour, and try to get as much as possible. And there we go. So I'm going to put this off to the side. We don't need that anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to start kneading the dough. And so this is how you do it. Alright, so try to get a little bit more flour on your surface so that it doesn't stick like it's doing to me. So I'm going to put some more flour onto the table. Alright, so you're going to want to pull it off to the side, flip it over, and use the palm of your hand to push down on the bread. So what you're doing right here is you're getting all the air out, and then you're making it like a thicker consistency, if that makes sense. You're just getting all the air out. Can you hear the air bubbles popping? And as you can see, it's sticking in my hand sometimes. That's fine. We're still adding some more flour, so it should be like that, if that makes sense. So we're just going to keep kneading the dough, and eventually you can flip it around. Just try to get flour on it so it's like you can hold it, but it doesn't stick to your fingers. You see? So you're just going to keep wanting to knead it. And I think right here I'm pretty good. This is maybe a few more. And yeah, here, you can always add more flour. So don't forget that. But you do not, like I said, want to have too much flour, because you cannot take flour out. Next, what you're going to want to do is take your cooking pan or whatever, this thing, you know what I'm saying. And I turned my oven on to 420 degrees. I'm letting that bake right now, warm up. And so what we're going to do with this dough is put it in between our fingers and kind of cut it like scissors right down the middle, so we get two even size loaves, or little globs, because they're not loaves yet. And you're going to want to knead it again, get some more flour. And once you're done with that, you're going to cut it in half once more for both of them. I'll just do this one. Alright, and your hands are going to get a little sticky and gross too. So knead this one out, and then kind of just spin it out, make a little ball like this. Come a little closer, like that. And then you're going to want to rub it on the flour and put it right there. And we'll do the other one too. And once again, a little ball, rub it on here, and then put it right there. Alright, so I'm going to do this one off camera, but whenever you get the 2 loaves, what you're going to do is you're going to take this, put it in the oven, let it bake for, it's going to take like 30 minutes, or until you can like see it's brown on the outside, it looks good, and yeah, and then I'll show you guys what that looks like. And this is what you get. These are 4 loaves of bread. What I would recommend you guys do while they're baking is clean up. I know that my mom enjoys when I make bread because it's a treat and she doesn't have to work for it, and I clean up and she doesn't have to do anything, and you know, it's just really nice. They're still really hot right now. Actually, I'll cut one open for you guys, and I will be bringing 3 loaves into class to show you guys. Ooh, still pretty hot. Let me get a napkin. But yeah, so if you guys want really good tasting bread, then I would recommend this right here. This is what the inside looks like. It's just really good bread, and I hope you guys enjoy the sample I give out. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. See ya.